Alpha Day. My name is Jeff Pleadwell. I am a professional pirate living here on the southeast coast of Guam. I seek my treasure here, and I want to tell you the history of this beautiful area and what's happened over here in the many years things have been happening. In the early years here, fishermen were all over. I find evidence of fish hooks, artifacts of their existence and civilization, dating back, I am told, 4,000 years. The Tocha River here meets the Tocha Channel, causing the fish to go back and forth for a great fishing grounds. Ever since, there's been a lot of fish here. For many, many years, even to this day, people will go fishing in this whole Tocha Bay area. It is rich with turtles, all different types of fish. You have the freshwater, saltwater, and where they meet, a lot of fish converge. In the 1800s, 1900s, the area became a coconut tree plantation. Schooners traveled down here from Saipan, positioned themselves outside the channel, and rowboats transported the coconuts from these trees over to the schooner. Once full, the schooner would travel up to Saipan, where there was a copra factory, process the copra for whatever product they needed from it, and made a good income from it. Today there's many, many coconuts, but nothing's really being done with them. In 1941, the Japanese invaded Guam. They came in this area, Telefofo Bay, different channels all over the island. This area was held captive from 1941 to 1944 when the war ended. The Japanese built gun sites and bunkers all along the coast. Here on the property, we have a very strong bunker that was made by the men at Telefofo under the Japanese gun. I've heard many stories about all the activities here during the war and what transpired between the locals and the Japanese. The Japanese had to depend on the locals to catch them fish, to help them do everything, farm. Of course, the locals, being under the gun, worked very hard to please their captors. If you look at the bunker, you can see it was built so a nice breeze would flow through it every day. And here on this coast, there's usually a very nice breeze coming through. It's very short. Of course, some Japanese are short, so it was probably convenient for them. But a lot of people have bumped their heads inside this bunker, I guarantee it. Oh, look at this. Big iguana. Film it. You see the iguana there? There you go. We have lots of inhabitants. We have lots of gagas come inside the bunker. This is a salamander. On Guam, people like to call them iguanas, seeking refuge inside here. Nice and cool, comfortable living. I'm a beachcomber. I found this on the beach right after Typhoon Paka. This is actually brain coral. You can see by the shape, it's a brain. And if you look inside, you'll see there's a map of Guam. naturally, through nature, response to conditions, etc., you see the map of Guam inside the brain coral. I tell people it thought up the map of Guam with the brain coral. Pirates Cove, right over here. Here's Naval Station. Anderson, Cocos Island. Use your imagination. It's there. I developed this seaside museum from all the things that I found with my wife Roseanne, things that people gave me. They're all here. I wanted it so people could appreciate what could be found, the treasures right here on the ocean. Let's take a look around. In here, you will see the fish hooks. When I told you this was an ancient Chamorro fishing village, part of the proof is the fish hooks that we found right on the beach. Also, we found chisels. You'll see here on the bottom, they were used to make your kayaks and your sailing canoes and boats that were used. You'll see a lot of blades from the axe, covers for fish traps, sling stones from the many different practices for battle and battles that probably took place here. Now, these are glass Japanese fishing floats. These floats break very easily. I used to find 30 or 40 a year. Now, I'm lucky to find one in 3 years. How were they used? They were used off the longliners to go fishing. I'll show you. This is one of my greatest floats. It has a protection from a string around it, a rope, so it wouldn't break on the ship. Here on the bottom, there would be a line, a fish line, that would run all the way down into the ocean with a hook. And on the hook, you might have a mackerel, you might have a piece of fish, anything to act as a bait. So it was left by the ship out on the ocean with a line on the bottom with a bait, come back later and see if they caught a fish. The smaller ones, this size here, you'll see them in the case here in glass. These were used for a salmon gill net. Maybe up in Washington State, maybe in Alaska, anywhere. Once these things were in the current, they would go by Japan. The current would go by Guam, Hawaii, the United States, upper parts of the Bering Sea near Russia. All those areas are connected by 4 different currents. Messages in the bottle. This is a great message. Came from a guy sailing on the ship from India or from the West Indies to Hawaii. Found in this bottle, probably protected a little bit so it didn't break too easy. Aloha from the SV Embravade. Today is July 15th, 2000. I found this 4 months later. We are sailing from Antigua, West Indies, the Caribbean, to Honolulu, Hawaii. It's an 80-foot sailboat, the type of boat that is called a maxi. Steve Hillman sent me this, called me later, became a great friend. So I get some mail in the ocean. I have a good time finding the treasures. Most letters you find inside the bottle or notes, they're not readable. But luckily, I have like 5 that are really nice.